Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Create and Consume, a podcast about what we make, watch, and buy in the era of digital content. I'm your host, Austen Tosone. I just wanted to say a quick thank you since this is the first episode I'm recording since I have announced the podcast and put out the first episode. I really appreciate all of your feedback, as well as those who have taken the time to leave ratings and reviews for me, especially on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys so much. It helps me out more than you know to get the podcast in front of more people. So, as we look ahead to the summer months, today I wanted to talk about one of my all time favorite things, which is beauty. And I feel like it's been a while since I've done a beauty update really on any platform. So I feel like the podcast is the perfect place to catch up and let you know what some of my current favorite products are, especially what some of my top products for the summer months are as things start to thankfully warm up here. I'm on the East Coast, obviously, but wherever you are, I hope that summer is on its way to you and that you are getting excited for the season just like I am. So today we're going to get pretty specific. I'm going to be talking you through some of my beauty favorites for summer, and we're going to talk about skincare, hair care, and makeup. So before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about what I'm creating this week and what I'm consuming this week, as we do in every episode. And you can also let me know what you are creating and consuming each week by leaving a comment over on Instagram or TikTok. We are at Create and Consume Pod on both. So, in terms of what I'm creating this week, I am still getting into the podcast production workflow, and I've been looking into some tools and softwares to help me streamline the process of creating the podcast and also promoting the podcast on social media, which I think is pretty important, especially for a new podcast, to help expand potential listenership and kind of get the name Create and Consume out there. So, that being said, I actually stumbled across this software called Opus AI. And I feel like we're probably going to need to even do a whole AI episode at some point, or chat more about it. But Opus AI is a website that has enabled me to basically upload the entire podcast episode. So, like the video that I upload to our YouTube channel, and it will clip the podcast episode into various short form social media clips. And when it does this, it pulls different sections, it adds captions, and it even gives itself a grade for each video. Like, this video is an A in terms of hook, but a B in terms of trending content. It is so crazy and extremely helpful and interesting. So, basically, when I upload the long video that I'm sharing to my YouTube channel for the podcast, it gives me, I think, 25 or 30 short form video clips that I can use on my social media channels. So if you go check out our Instagram or TikTok, or I'm also sharing these to YouTube Shorts too, those videos were created by an AI editor. And I'm able to add the brand colors that I'm using and kind of customize the style of the fonts and things like that. But it has just opened up a whole new world of possibility for me, because at first I wasn't sure how I would even be able to keep up posting the podcast on all of these various platforms, and how I was going to like look through the videos and find sections to edit. And this way, right now, I'm just pulling the best two of the clips that it gives me. I can also shorten or lengthen the clip because I can see in the text preview what text is there. So if it ends up starting it at sort of a weird place and it should have started like 10 seconds later, I can just click where I want the clip to start and it'll change it. It's so awesome. I signed up for an annual plan because they were having a crazy deal where it ended up being, I think, $9 a month, which is, I think, what I pay for Canva, which is crazy. So yeah, I've really been using and loving Opus AI a lot. Let me know if you guys test it out. It is crazy. I will leave a link to it in the show notes. And then as far as what I'm consuming this week, I started Bridgerton season 3. I was on a plane last week to Chicago for my cousin's wedding, so it's the perfect time to download some stuff to Netflix and catch up. So I've watched the first 3 episodes of season 3 so far. I gotta say, you guys, Penelope, speaking of hair and speaking of beauty in this episode, Penelope is serving so much good hair inspiration. Like, I love almost all of the hairstyles, except for like the, pre-transformation ones in the first episode that I've seen from her this season, and I can't get over it. I'm like trying to bookmark things. I'm like, when am I next going to be invited to like a fancy tea party gala where I can attempt to recreate some of these hairstyles? And this so far is not like my favorite plot line of Bridgerton. I think season 2 has my heart fully, obviously. But I'm just enjoying the aesthetic and I'm just enjoying being there for the ride. I'm super curious to see like how the rest of the storyline unfolds, and I will of course keep watching. But let me know also which season you are preferring of Bridgerton if you have watched all of them so far, and I'm excited for the next batch of episodes to drop. Let's move into today's topic, which is the summer beauty lineup. So I wanted to focus this list more so on kind of current obsessions and products that I think are especially good for summer. So this is not going to be my holy grail products. I could maybe do another episode of holy grails, or I could also circle back to this theme or topic for winter as we, get into that season later in the year. But I really just kind of wanted to do like the top beauty products that are in my rotation for the summer months. And also, as a disclaimer, what works for me might not work for you. I am also a seasoned beauty content creator and beauty reporter. So I'm really basing this off of my own experience. But these are just products that I have been using and love that I think are really fun. So definitely keep that in mind. You also certainly do not need to run out and buy every last thing on this list. I am in a unique position where I get sent products for work, and I think my job is to review those products and let you know what the best of the best are, which is exactly what I intend to do today. So hopefully you just have fun with this and see it as a helpful guide for how to get some beauty summer shopping done, because who doesn't love just a trip to Sephora or Ulta or the drugstore, honestly. Let's go ahead and kick things off with skincare favorites and top recommendations. Now, we're talking about summer, and I know my mom is listening to this, so the thing that is absolutely at the top of the list is going to be sunscreen. It's really important to wear sunscreen. It will help prevent skin cancer. It will help with wrinkles. It'll help your skin just stay fully protected from the sun. It's also just important to remember to reapply sunscreen as it is to remember to apply it at the start of the day. So if you're looking for a sunscreen underneath makeup, I personally love the Supergoop Glow Screen. This gives such a beautiful, almost slightly glimmery finish without being too sparkly. I know it comes in a few different shades as well. I was using whatever the lightest shade is most recently, but I just love that product for under makeup, or sometimes I wear it just as its own base product or own skin tint product. I just think it's so beautiful, and I really love that product in particular. I have also used the Unseen sunscreen in the past, which I think is also nice. But yeah, the Supergoop Glow Screen is a great one to add into your rotation, and know that you can layer a skin tint or foundation on top of it, and you'll have that nice glowy base to peek through whatever product you layer on top. I also really like the Versed Guards Up Mineral Sunscreen. I believe this one is SPF 35. I love all Versed products pretty much. I have been using them since they launched in 2019, and I really do like this sunscreen. Just keep in mind it is a mineral sunscreen. And what I like about this one as well is it doesn't have a white cast, and same with the Supergoop actually, because it has kind of like a tint to it. So it looks almost like a kind of nudie, very, very light pink color tint, but I think that is better than a white cast no matter what your skin type is. I think that just leaning in the right direction of adding some pigmentation to it is going to help make sure that you're not getting that ghostly finish, which is not a cute look. So we always want to be protected, but anything that kind of helps, blend more seamlessly or that lays really nicely on our skin, I think is great. So definitely really have been using and liking those two for, I would say, like the last, Versed has been a few years now, and then Supergoop has definitely been at least the last 2 years. So really enjoying those two. And then for body sunscreen, Paula's Choice makes my favorite all over body sunscreen. It is in a purple tube, and I believe it says non-greasy sunscreen on the front. So that one is an SPF 50. That one has just always protected my skin. I've never once burned from using it. It's a little more pricey, but to me, it's worth it, especially to apply as the first coat of the day. If I ever need to touch up, maybe I'll turn to a spray sunscreen or something. But to really have that one there and just like being the kind of first layer of defense against the sun is a product that I really, really trust and that I really like and that I've bought myself repeatedly over the years, just as much as I've been gifted the product from the brand. Let's also move on and talk about hydrating serums. Now, I actually recently asked you all on my personal Instagram stories at Austen Tosone what you think is the best hydrating serum. And I got a couple of different responses about different brands that I should be checking out. For me personally, some that I've tried in the past that I've liked are the Glossier Super Serum, the blue one. I've also liked the SkinCeuticals Vitamin B Hydrating Serum. And some of the ones that you guys suggested were La Roche-Posay, Peach and Lily. I really want to try the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Serum. I've seen my friends Caitlin and Gabby Whiten use this product before, and I've heard them say good things about it. So I definitely need to investigate that brand further. But I do think having a hydrating serum, one that has hyaluronic acid in it, is going to be super helpful because your skin can get very dehydrated if it's spending a lot of time out in the sun, as hopefully I plan to be doing this summer. And I just want to make sure that I am replenishing that skin at the end of the day and giving something back to my face. So that's why I feel like a hydrating serum, one that really gives back to your skin and either has like hyaluronic acid or niacinamide or any of these really nourishing ingredients to basically help repair your skin barrier and to help give moisture back to your skin, which it can lose throughout the day. Also, I'm not a scientist or a dermatologist. This is, again, based on my own experience. So just wanted to throw that out there too. Let's move on and talk about moisturizer. My pretty much all-time favorite moisturizer is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. It is just one that I turn to time and time again. I like that even though it is a full cream product, I feel like you can take a little bit of it and spread it around your face and get good coverage and really hit like every part of your face. But you also could take a bigger scoop and kind of lay it on thick, which I tend to do more in the winter months. Also, the Confidence in a Cream has a few different varieties, as do a lot of products in the IT Cosmetics world. So there is the regular Confidence in a Cream, which is what I use, and I have more normal to dry skin typically. If you have more oily skin, though, they do have Confidence in a gel cream or Confidence in a Cream gel version. So that is a much more lightweight moisturizer. And that one is really good for if you have more oily skin because it won't clog your pores as much. And also, if you're just looking for a cream to use in the evenings, they actually also make a night cream version of this product too. So I feel like I can recommend that one and say that there's something there for everyone, whether you have more normal to dry skin, whether you have more oily skin, or whether you're just looking for something to use in the evenings. I also love pretty much all of the Laneige moisturizers too. I love the Water Bank moisturizer that comes in the little blue jar. I also have the new pink Laneige, I believe it's called the Bounce Overnight Sleeping Mask. It's in like a light pink jar. Sydney Sweeney is the face of it. I mean, she's the face of pretty much everything Laneige does, which honestly, that is such an underrated pairing to have Sydney Sweeney be the face of Laneige. Like that just makes perfect sense to me for some reason. So shout out to them for getting her as one of their brand ambassadors because I think that's a perfect match. And I would love to one day go to a Laneige event where Sydney Sweeney is present. That would be also pretty iconic. I didn't even write that down on my list, but when I get impassioned about beauty products, I can just feel myself remembering like, oh, I need to add this one and I need to add this one. So I'll try to make sure I'm just adding in the ones that I think are most impactful because I could totally get carried away and we could be here all day not focusing on the list. But I would say definitely look at IT Cosmetics and Laneige for all of your summer moisturizer needs. I am someone who understands that eye cream is not actually an essential. I think that the two most important skincare essentials, if you're going to do anything, are sunscreen and a moisturizer. I think an eye cream is kind of just a bonus, but I do love an eye cream, that being said. So, two recommendations that I wanted to share are number one, the Paula's Choice C5 eye cream that contains vitamin C. It's a very brightening, hydrating cream that I really like. It is a slightly higher price point, but I've noticed good results from it in terms of brightening, which can help if you have under eye bags or any discoloration under your eyes. You know, if you just want to have a little bit more life restored there and have a little bit more of a pop, that one is really nice. And it's a nice, more creamy consistency, which I really appreciate. And then another thing I love for the summer months is the Tula Rose All Day Cooling Eye Balm. So it looks like a little stick. It almost looks like a blush or contour stick, but it's this cooling eye balm where you just rub it underneath your eyes. I do this first thing in the morning when I wake up, and it is so delightful. I actually need to remember to keep it in my refrigerator because right now it is in the skincare cabinet in my bathroom. But even without it being refrigerated, I do still feel that cooling sensation. And it does help brighten my under eye area and color correct a little bit. So that when I go to apply my concealer under my eyes and my eye makeup later, I don't have to worry about it creasing or doing anything weird. So I do really love that product, but I definitely need to. One day I would actually love to get a skincare mini fridge. I don't know if that's over. I don't know if that was just like a 2017 thing. You guys can let me know, but I still want one. Okay. There are plenty of things that I would keep in it to keep cool. And speaking of that, I wanted to also highlight some eye masks that I like. So we're talking about the silicone, usually single use eye masks that go underneath your eyes. That I do keep in the fridge. So right now, the ones that I have in there are from Image Skincare, and they actually just sent me a restock of those, which was perfect timing. But I feel like these usually do the trick no matter what brand I use. I do like the Image ones because they are just clear, they're easy to use. And the jar actually also comes with a little tweezer. So you can just use the tweezer to get the eye masks out because when they're in the jar, they do tend to stick together a little bit compared to the ones that come in their own singular package. But I prefer the jar ones just from an environmental perspective, just buying the jar of the eye masks compared to everything in its own plastic sleeve or pouch feels better to me. So I like the ones from Image. I like the ones from Pixie Beauty. And I believe they have a few different eye masks that target different concerns with Pixie Beauty because I've seen them in a couple different colored jars before. And then Florence by Mills makes them that also come in a jar that are purple and that are shaped like a whale, where the kind of bigger end looks like the head of a whale, and then the edge looks like a tail. I do think it's hard to go wrong with the brand here, though, especially if they are all that kind of silicone texture. Once they're in the fridge and once then you put them on your under eye area, they're all going to feel cooling. They're all going to help, depuff and kind of have that cooling impact that you're looking for. So I think it's hard to go wrong with what brand to go with on that front. So maybe look at what's most affordable just to see if you like it. And then you could always scale up from there if you're feeling a little bougie. Another skincare product that is not technically face skincare, but is body skincare that I did want to call out and spotlight for this summer is the Mega Babe Thigh Rescue Anti-Friction Stick. Girls, you know what I'm talking about. That summer chafe is literally no fun at all. And this product has been such a lifesaver. They sell it in the full size, the full size, and it looks like a deodorant stick. And they also sell mini versions of it too if you need to throw it in your purse. So I highly recommend checking this out if you have dealt with uncomfortable thigh chafing in the past. It is such a lifesaver for the summer months. And then the last skincare product that I had to throw in here, you already probably know what's coming if you know me at all, is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I am never without it. For example, here it is on my desk right here. I'm showing it if you're watching on YouTube. And that product just comes with me no matter what. Now, some people will tell you that this product is too thick for the summer months, and those people might have somewhat of a point, but I choose to ignore them and just use it just as, intensely and as often as I would in the winter months too. They do make a lip balm version of it. I don't mind the lip balm version, but if I had to choose, I'm always going to reach for the original sleeping mask. And I have the scent berry, which isn't really a scent, which I think is why I like it so much. It does come in vanilla. I think in the past they've released mango and salted caramel and peppermint, although maybe I'm just thinking of their holiday collection. I know that they have had a couple of different iterations of this and a couple of different shade options, but at the end of the day, Original Berry is definitely my favorite. That is also a product that I've repurchased so many times on my own, in addition to being gifted it by the brand in the past. Let's move on and talk about some summer makeup favorites. So, we just discussed a lot of skincare products, but what I will add to that is even if I've done my full skincare routine in the morning, I always feel like I still need to add a moisturizer before I put primer and foundation on in the summer months. This is just an extra dose of hydration, and I find that it helps my makeup stay in place better if I remember to do this step. So, usually I just reach for a lightweight moisturizer. This could be more of a gel cream because there are going to be other products layered on top of it, or it could just be a really thin cream moisturizer. I actually just got sent one yesterday by Image Skincare that I tried this morning that I like, called the Daily Prevention Sheer Matte Moisturizer. It's also SPF 30, so hopefully you do sunscreen as the last step in your skincare routine, but also looking for moisturizers and foundations that do have SPF in them is something that I would recommend doing for the summer months, of course, to stay protected. So this was actually a bit more of a thicker matte moisturizer, but I feel like my makeup is sitting really nicely on top of it right now. When it comes to a long lasting makeup primer to help your base product stay in place and not sweat off in the summer months, the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer is definitely my favorite for that. I've been trying their new Cloud Glow Primer too, which actually comes out in a foam texture when you use the pump. And I like it, but I just feel like very few things beat the Hydro Grip in terms of keeping your makeup in place once you apply it. So if you want your makeup to last all day, that is definitely my top recommendation. I know that I'm not alone in loving that. I know a lot of other content creators and people who I follow use that one too. And then for summer base products, unless I'm filming or going to a wedding, you can catch me in a skin tint. Like that is my go to base product for the summer months, as always. So, two of my favorites right now are the Fenty Ease Drop Skin Tint. I wear the shade 4, I believe. And that one I like. It feels more like a traditional skin tint, but it's not super runny. However, if you find that you want something really lightweight for your base, I have also recently tested and loved the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. I think I also wear shade 4 in that one. And you may have seen this on TikTok. It looks like the formula is almost like a clear kind of color, but then you'll see these little beads in it that are the color of what the product will end up looking like when you pump it out of the bottle. So I think that one has a pretty good shade range. The Fenty definitely does. And this one will really blend out and almost like adapt more to your skin tone, which is nice. So it really is an essence. It's almost a little bit oily in texture, but again, that kind of works perfectly for the summer months. And you can always combat anything that looks a little too oily with a powder, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Thought I would go in order of application just for ease and for my notes. So those are my two skin tint recommendations. And then when I am doing a skin tint or lighter base product, I still like to have a concealer that doesn't necessarily have to be overly full coverage, but still can help conceal any breakouts or spots that I just don't want to kind of shine through the base product that I'm using. So right now I am loving the Tower 28 concealer. I got it during the Sephora sale a few weeks ago, and I've barely been reaching for anything else. Another one that I have loved for a while is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Dark Spots Concealer, although weirdly, I prefer it more for under eyes than I do for dark spots. And I prefer the Bye Bye Under Eyes, which is a much thicker concealer that I wasn't going to mention in this video because that's more of like a winter product for me. I prefer that more for dark spots. So, It Cosmetics, maybe you should switch those two names or someone should tell me if I'm using them wrong. But I wanted to recommend the Bye Bye Dark Spots one for the under eyes because I've never had a creasing issue with that one. And if that's a concern of yours for summer beauty, it's definitely worth keeping in mind. And as far as the application for these products go, sometimes I'll use the It Cosmetics foundation brush that also has the concealer brush on the end, but I also feel like summer is just where the beauty sponge gets to shine. So I equally love the beauty blender, the traditional beauty blender beauty sponge, as well as the Real Techniques beauty sponges too. If you're looking for the affordable option, get the Real Techniques one. You can get them at the drugstore or at Target. I usually buy a 4-pack and keep them on hand right here in my beauty product bin. That's kind of my overflow / things that I've received in PR that I still need to test. And that way I have them on hand if they start to get too grimy or I feel like there's a lot of product buildup and I'm just ready to switch out to a fresh sponge. Let's move on and talk about contour / bronzer and blush. Now, I have never really in the past been one to layer a couple of these products together. I've always usually just been one and done, but lately I've been really loving layering. I almost got way ahead of myself with that word and tried to say layering while I was saying loving. But lately I have been loving layering a cream product first and then putting a powder product on top of that. So what I've been doing lately is using the Makeup by Mario contour stick in whatever the lightest one is. I believe there are a few different shades for that, and blending it out with a brush. And then I'll go on top of it with the Maybelline City bronzer. And that has been just sitting so nicely for some reason on my skin. I've been loving the look of it. And I've also been repeating that process with my blush as well. So, and I'm wearing both of what I'm talking about today. Hopefully you can see if you're watching on YouTube. I know the sun is starting to come in as I'm recording this, but I have been loving the Wander Beauty On the Glow blush and illuminator stick. This is not a new favorite, but I have tried it in a new colorway than the original one that I tried. So the colors in this two-sided illuminator stick are Petal, which is the blush color, Petal Pink, and then Nude Glow is the illuminator side. So when you take the lids or the caps off of both sides, you've got a cream blush on one side and a cream highlight on the other side. What I've been doing with the blush part is taking it and just putting one or two spots of it on each cheek and then spritzing a blush brush. Oh my gosh, I was looking at these alliterations and thinking I could really just go in there and tackle them. And here we are being tongue tied. But I will take my blush brush and spray it with a setting spray to get a little bit of moisture in there to make it much easier to blend out the product. So I've been doing that first, and then I've been layering a powder blush on top of it. And for some reason, I thought this process was going to take much longer than it actually does, but really doesn't take much time. Once I have the cream product in place, I'm really just layering that powder product on top of what I already did. So it's almost just like enhancing it a little bit more, almost like I'm priming that area before I put the powder on top so it can kind of sit nicely. And I feel like the placement is good. I don't have to find the placement a second time after I have already done it because I always get nervous with the contour stick that I'm going to put it way too low or way too high when I'm just trying to get it right below my cheekbone in general. And the powder blush that I've been using on top of that is the new Rare Beauty powder blush in the shade Cheer, which on the Sephora website it says is Selena's custom shade. It's just this beautiful peach color. And again, this is one of those blush products that looks perfectly shimmery. It's not overly glittery or sparkly in a weird way. And I've gotten compliments on this blush when I've worn it out before. So that is something that I have absolutely been loving. Again, I picked that up from the Sephora sale myself. But Rare Beauty, if you ever want to send me PR, you just send me a DM and I will give you my address. Okay, and then now I want to talk about Clear Brow Gel. This is my preferred brow look for summer days, whether I am just running out for an errand or whether I'm going to, head out to like a brewery and meet some friends or something. So, two of my favorites that I've tried lately are the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Brow. And I will say the whole clean line from CoverGirl that I've tried, I've been pretty impressed with so far. I recently got invited into the CoverGirl content creator studio here in New York City. I have a reel and a TikTok about that up on those respective accounts if you wanted to see what that looks like. And it gave me a chance to sample a lot of their products, which I was really grateful for. So I got to try some products from the Clean line, including this Clean Fresh Brow Gel, which, first of all, is super affordable. So we love that. And second of all, I feel like really works and really keeps your brows held in place. I am wearing it today and I can say that I have had good luck with it so far. I also do like the Milk Makeup Cush Clear Brow Lamination Gel. And my biggest tip for a clear brow gel, especially for any of my fellow brunettes, or if you have hair that is not, light blonde, is just to make sure you wipe off the excess product from the brush before you apply the gel. Because otherwise, I know that one of the biggest complaints about clear brow gel is that you can get those flakes if you're not careful. And for me, that usually happens when there's too much product on the brush. So by taking the time to wipe that excess product off before I apply it to my brows, that usually helps me avoid that issue. As far as summer eye looks go, if clear brow gel is one half of the equation, I think an eyeshadow stick is the second half of the equation. An eyeshadow stick is just so easy. You can throw it on, you can just smudge it with your finger and be out the door. It takes 10 seconds to do versus I used to spend, oh my gosh, probably like 20 or 30 minutes just on eyeshadow alone back in like 2016, 2017. These are such a lifesaver. My two current favorites are CoverGirl's Clean Eye Color in Ballerina Blush, which I am wearing today. And I also love Julep Beauty makes one called Eyeshadow 101. My favorite shade for that is Rose Shimmer. However, they also have matte shades available as well. For me, these are very rounded and they're so easy to apply. They just like glide on. The Julep Beauty one also comes with a smudger on the other end of the stick. So if you actually wanted to use the little foam tip to smudge out the color, you can do that. Otherwise, using your finger, I think works well too. And I just love the CoverGirl Ballerina Blush one. Like that to me is my perfect everyday eyeshadow color for sure. One thing that I've been really excited about changing up in my spring summer beauty routine as opposed to my fall winter beauty routine is to wear brown eyeliner. I kind of got off of eyeliner for a few years and then I started wearing it again when I was filming my sit down YouTube videos. I just felt like it helped my eyes pop a lot more on camera. But I think I finally found my sweet spot, which is to use a brown eyeliner because it's not as intense as a black eyeliner, but it still helps give me that definition. And also, as someone with brown eyes, I feel like it helps, tie into my eye color and kind of spotlight it. So I tried the Lancome Ultra Precise Waterproof Liner in Matte Syrup Brown because they sent it to me and I loved how it performed for about a week. So it did dry out kind of quickly. So I am here to crowdsource and ask the group if you guys have any liquid brown eyeliners that you like, or if I should forego the liquid and just use a pencil. Let me know if you have a favorite. You could slide into my DMs at Create and Consume Pod on either Instagram or TikTok. Actually, do it on Instagram. I don't really respond to DMs on TikTok if I don't know someone. So definitely do it on Instagram. That's my bad. And then when it comes to mascara, I have not yet gotten on the brown mascara train, although I could see why people love it now that I am starting to get into the brown eyeliner. For me, in the summer, I want one of two things when it comes to my mascara. I either want lengthening mascara or I want fluttery volume. So my lengthening mascara recommendation is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. That one is just such a classic. It really helps lift and lengthen the lashes. I absolutely love it. And then if you want more of that fluttery volume, I love the Milk Makeup Cush Mascara. And I actually believe that Sephora sells minis of both of these products. So if you are looking to test a new mascara, but you don't want to commit to buying one full price, definitely check out the minis. And I'm also looking at my list and I feel like I forgot to add a waterproof mascara for summer. So I just wanted to spotlight the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, the waterproof one. So that's going to be in a blue tube as opposed to the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara that's in the black tube. I wore the waterproof one to my cousin's wedding last weekend and I teared up, but my mascara did not run. So that one is Austen crying at a wedding approved, if you were wondering. Something else that I think is a summer makeup bag staple for me is definitely a powder, a setting powder. So whether you are team pressed powder or whether you're team loose powder, you've certainly got options. I have personally felt more inclined to use pressed powders lately. I just feel like they're less messy and I'm able to be a bit more precise with them. So I have been really liking the Bobbi Brown pressed powder. I've been using the shade says it's called yellow, which I feel like is not actually the right tone that I should be using, but for some reason it's just been working well for me. And then I also like the Kosas Cloud Set powder in the shade Breezy. That I feel like is my correct pressed powder shade. And I just love that product. I just personally have been sent some other powders and haven't had a reason to repurchase the Kosas one yet. But if I did have a reason to, that would probably be what I would repurchase. And for loose powder, in the past, I've really liked Laura Mercier's and Hourglass Cosmetics loose powder, but I just got a PR package from One Size by Patrick Starr, which as a beauty content creator and as someone who grew up watching so many YouTube makeup tutorials, wondering if I would ever in my life be able to master a cut crease, is just a really exciting thing for me. They sent me their loose powder, which is supposed to have 24-hour shine control, which I feel like for summer is exactly what the doctor ordered. To wrap up the makeup category before we move on to hair, I really have been liking this lip balm that I got gifted from Naturium. This is the Phyto Glow lip balm in the shade Petal. It's just really nourishing and hydrating, and as someone whose lips dry out really quickly, I haven't experienced any issues with using this one. And on the lip gloss front, I am actually wearing it now. I've really been liking this CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss. I've got the shade Twilight Beam here. It's a really thick, nice doe foot applicator, and it is really glossy without being overly sticky, which again, I think is perfect for summer. And with that being said, let's move on to hair. First of all, Amika, pretty much everything they've been doing has just been blowing me away lately. I am grateful to be on their PR list and get to try a lot of their different products. So let me just run you through a few of my favorites that I think have been helping me on my healthy hair journey. First of all, I love their Mirror Ball shampoo and conditioner. If you read my blog, Keep Calm and Chiffon, each year I do a beauty awards post. So these products won best shampoo and conditioner for 2023. They just really help enhance shine. They are really, really just beautiful packaging, great products, great ingredients. I absolutely love those. Amika also makes hair masks, and there are two different types of hair masks depending on what type of hair mask girl you are. So let me tell you what your options are. If you're someone who at the end of your shower is like, "Ugh, I wish I had like thought to do a hair mask," the Smooth Over Frizz Fighting Treatment, which I actually went to the launch event for here in New York City, is a 1 minute hair mask. So after you shampoo and after you use conditioner, you put this on right at the end. You squeeze out like any moisture from your hair, you put it on, leave it for 1 minute, and then you rinse it out. So if you are a last minute, let me do a hair mask before I jump out of here person, then that is a good one to keep in mind. If you're looking for something a little bit more nourishing and a little bit more high impact, they have their Hydro Rush hair mask, which comes in a blue jar as opposed to the one that I just mentioned comes in, it almost looks like a vintage ketchup bottle is like the best way to explain it. So you like squirt it on and then run out. This product, the Hydro Rush hair mask, is a super thick product. Like you really need to make sure you are focusing when you apply it because otherwise it'll slip right through your hands because that's how thick it is. That one you leave on for 5 minutes. So you just have to plan throughout your shower process when you're going to put it on to make sure that you're getting the full impact of it. But That is a great one, I think, to do like once a week if you want to add hydration back into your hair, especially if your hair has been exposed to a lot of salt water or sunshine or pollution or just anything else that it could encounter during the summer months. So shout out to Amika. They are killing the game right now. I am obsessed with all things Amika. Similarly, on the shampoo and conditioner front, I have just started testing. I shouldn't say just, it's been about 6 weeks, I think. This new affordable hair care line that I love and really wanted to tell you guys about called V and Co. So V ampersand CO. This brand is really impressing me because they have really thoughtful ingredients. They have an interesting founder story, and I feel like their products work and they're super affordable. So these products from V & Co are infused with peptides and they're sold at Walmart and Target. I think each bottle is $7.99 at the time that I'm recording this. So, if you're listening to this in 3 years from now, first of all, hi, thanks for diving back into the archives to hang out with me and talk about beauty products. But I just can't get over this price point. I think it's great. The founders of this company are also the same founders who created Aussie Hair Care. And they, a few years ago, noticed peptides popping up more and more in skincare products and wanted to create a hair brand that fully incorporated the use of peptides in the ingredient list. So they come in 4 different types. They come in straight, thick, curly, and wavy. I use the straight one, but depending on your hair type, you can pick whichever one works best for you. And peptides, if you were wondering, are supposed to help stimulate the hair follicle and deliver nutrients to it to help it grow. So if you are on your hair growth journey this summer, as I think we probably all are, this could be a great brand to check out for a really affordable price. So let me know if you guys end up picking this up at all. I am obsessed. I actually really have been meaning to film like a reel or some other piece of content focused on them. There's just been a lot going on right now. So I'm happy that they're getting like the proper shout out here on the podcast. Next is another one of my tried and true favorites, which is the Tresemme Extra Hold Hairspray. I've been using this for years. This is always great to have on hand, especially if you have any events or things coming up this summer, like weddings or work events and things like that, where you want your hair to stay in place as much as possible without being too crunchy. This has always been my go-to. It's such a great drugstore find. Actually, all of Tresemme's hair care products are incredible, really salon quality if you ask me, and I love the price point. So I am using it in my hair today, even just for my loose typical waves that I do. Another summer staple I would say at this point is obviously the slick back. So what do we need in order to do the slick back? A wax hair stick, of course. This product is so perfect for taming flyaways and helping you really achieve the look that you're going for. I personally have the one from Tiggy Bedhead. Is it Tiggy? I apologize. I really should know at this point because this brand has obviously been around forever. But I use their Tiggy Bedhead wax stick that I bought on Amazon. I have had this for, I think, 2 years now. So one stick will last you for quite a while. I really like this one, and I just find it super helpful for those slick back hairstyles. Just something to keep in mind. It does take a minute or two to really shampoo it out, so just be patient as you're washing that wax product out of your hair and make sure that you get as much of it out as possible to prevent any, unnecessary buildup of product around your scalp. And then something else I have been using, by the way, I would like to preface this by saying I would like to be a heatless hairstyle girly. So I am also here asking for your recommendations for your favorite heatless hair tools. And specifically, I mean heatless hair solutions for waking up with luxurious curls in the morning without me having to do anything. I've seen the sleepy tie. I've seen the more intense over the head foam roller type thingy, but like what's everybody's favorite? I would like to know this, and I would like to transition to wake up with beautiful waves and not actually have to use heat on my hair, which when I do my usual curls, I'm just using my Conair Infinity 1-inch barrel curling iron with a clamp. Thank you very much. I feel like I just got so off topic there. What am I trying to say? Please tell me if you have any recommendations for how I can do heatless curls, especially overnight. And when I'm not doing that though, and I do need to quickly dry my hair in the mornings, usually I shower in the evenings and just let my hair air dry by the time the morning comes around. But my mom actually gave me this Lange, I think is the name of the brand, L apostrophe ANGE hair dryer brush. Guys, where has this been all my life? This makes so much more sense than a traditional hair dryer, but it doesn't come with as much of a learning curve as the Dyson tools do. Like, this is all I've ever wanted in my life for a quick and easy blow dry. I have been obsessed with it. I will definitely, try to use this more and just make sure I'm using a heat protectant with it, of course, but it just is so easy to travel with. Like, it's so easy to use. I'm obsessed with it. So thank you, Mom. I don't know why you didn't want this, but I am glad that I have it now. Another summer favorite styling product is the Davines. This is a shine spray. I am wearing this in my hair today. It is kind of just a very simple shine spray that you can use once you are finished with your hairstyle to get a little bit of that glisten and glow from your hair, especially as it catches the light. We love to see that. And the last product I wanted to mention is just the mini plastic hair elastics from Amazon. I bought a huge jar of them a few years ago. I think there's supposed to be like 1,000 or 2,000 of them in there. Haven't even made a dent. And it has just helped me achieve many more cute hairstyles than I would have without them. And I feel like the biggest complaint about these is always removing them because the elastic gets so tightly wound around really small pieces of hair. So sometimes it can be painful. What I've learned from my friend Olivia Rose DeMuro on TikTok is that you can just hold a sort of warm curling iron. Like, you could turn it on the lowest heat setting. You could hold it next to the hair elastic and the heat will melt the wax and it'll break away. So there's no damage to your hair. Just make sure when you turn off your curling iron that there's no wax left over or stuck on it. But we love that life hack. So thank you, Olivia, for teaching me that. And thank you all for sticking with me through this episode. I hope you enjoyed hearing about some of my summer beauty favorites. I would love to hear what yours are too if you leave a comment over on TikTok and Instagram. And as always, you can support Create and Consume for free by doing any of the following. You can leave us Apple and Spotify ratings and reviews. That means so much to me and helps the podcast get recognized in the search results and the rankings of those platforms. You can like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. You can follow along at Create and Consume Pod on Instagram and TikTok. You could send this episode to a friend who might enjoy it. And of course, don't forget to check out createandconsumepodcast.com for episode recaps and more. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.